Hello, and welcome to Three Blind Mice Window Coverings. Today I'd like to talk about the differences in wood plantation shutters. There are a lot of different misconceptions about wood shutters, what they do, what they can't do, what's a good quality and what's not good quality. So today I'm going to talk about and show you some of the differences. There are basically three different types of wood shutters in the market. There's what we call a cut-down shutter. There's what's called a production shutter, and then there's a handcrafted shutter. I'm going to explain the differences to you so you understand why there's such a variance in price between shutters. So we'll start off first with what's called a cut-down shutter. And what a cut-down shutter is a pre-made shutter where they make this up in raw wood, but they make these parts here, this is called a stile. They make them wider, and they make the top rails and the bottom rails longer. They pre-make these in predetermined sizes. So a typical window is about 34.5 inches wide. So what they do is they make this shutter at 36 inches wide. Then they take your measurements and they just take a saw and they rip the edges, cut the tops, throw shutters or throw hinges on it, and it's done. That's a cut down. Okay, that's the least expensive option made. You don't see a lot of it out there, but it's there and it's very inexpensive. That's a typical cut down plantation shutter. The next one and most common one you hear about is what's called a production shutter. Now what a production shutter is, production shutters are very similar to a cut down in that all the parts, all the components are pre-made. So the stiles are pre-made, the rails are pre-made, tilt rods pre-made, louvers are all pre-made. And what they do is they just have a computer program that goes through and tells the person in the factory, okay, cut this stile at this height, cut this rail at this length, cut the louvers at this, and then they just assemble it. And they usually just end up gluing the pieces together or shooting them together with some small nails. And that's it. They put screws and tensions in it. This is the most common type of plantation shutter out there. It's called production. Now, production's a good quality shutter in most cases, but you can't do much customizing with it because all the parts are pre-made. Again, there are a lot of issues just to show you out. You can see how that on a production shutter, the stiles are usually thicker than the rails. And they get a little bit thinner, so you can see you go from thick to thin. That's pretty much a dead giveaway on a production shutter. So now I'm going to show you what's the top of the line, what's called a handcrafted, custom-made wood shutter. So now here, take a look at this. Now all these parts are custom made, meaning that the wood comes out raw and they router it, cut it, use tools to shape it the way you want. So again here you can see a lot more detail in it. You can see that these are all detail finish. You can see everything is hand done, edges are all done. Let me show you the top of this here. As you can see here, this is all the same thickness going all the way across. Okay, so the top rail is the same as the stile. It's better for structural integrity and it looks nicer as well. Our frames are fully framed and then finished off. So it's not just glued together. These are shot together just like custom cabinetry. Speaking of custom cabinetry, you can see on the inside here you have what's called a mortised hinge. So they router out the stile to put the hinge in. That reduces the light gap. You also have what's called a tension screw hole. So inside of here there's a screw that helps you adjust the tension of your louvers. So you can set these to be tighter or looser depending on what you do. Those are all good signs of a handcrafted wood shutter. So again, to review, there are three types of plantation shutters. You have a cut-down shutter, a production shutter, and a handcrafted wood shutter. If you'd like more information, please give us a call at 1-800-828-2003, or you can find us on the web at www.threeblindmiceusa.com.